Hello everyone, welcome to EPG Pathashala program in botany subject. Today I will be talking on a module from plant physiology, namely soil plant atmosphere continuum. All the components of a living system, particularly in a field environment such as plant tissues, soil, atmosphere, water, form physically unified and dynamic system. This physically unified system is referred as soil plant atmosphere continuum. Water is one of the most important component of soil plant atmosphere continuum, and the energy associated with the water fluxes is also play a critical role in this continuum, and therefore our understanding of how life associate with the environment is controlled by soil plant atmosphere continuum. Now let us first begin with the water cycle. In water cycle, liquid water evaporates to form water vapor, which is released in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, this water vapor condenses and later on cooled to form liquid droplets which fall on the ground in the form of precipitation. This process requires latent energy which is associated and which converts a phase transition between liquid water and water vapor. Apart from this process, evapotranspiration and potential energy is critical to create water fluxes. Therefore, an understanding of factors and various physical processes that influences soil plant atmosphere continuum is essential. In this module, we will study the learning objectives of soil plant atmosphere continuum. These are: study the overview and definition of soil plant atmosphere continuum, study the flow of water in soil plant atmosphere continuum, study the flow of water in soil, study the water uptake by roots, study the water flow inside the roots, study the water flow from roots to the leaves, study evapotranspiration and water consumption by plant, and study the orders of magnitude of water potential in soil plant atmosphere continuum. Let us first understand what is soil plant atmosphere continuum. All components of field environment such as soil, plant and atmosphere form a physically unified and dynamic system. This physically unified system is referred as soil plant atmosphere continuum, in which various water flow processes occur independently. Within soil plant atmosphere continuum, water moves from the region of high water potential to the region of low water potential. This rate depends upon hydraulic resistance of the medium. Let us discuss flow of water in soil plant atmosphere continuum. Flow rate of water in this process are always inversely proportional to the hydraulic resistance, and this can be derived from the equation, that is Q equal to minus delta psi 1 divided by R1 or minus delta psi 2 divided by R2 or minus delta psi 3 divided by R3 or minus delta psi 4 divided by R4. This equation represents steady state flow where Q is a water flux, which is represented in the form of meter per day, and the numerator values represent different pathways in the system, with R1 representing soil to root pathway, R2 is from root to xylem pathway, R3 represents water movement from the xylem to the leaves, and R4 represents water flux from leaves to the atmosphere. through this system, the main driving force for the water movement is a hydraulic gradient, which is reported as delta psi divided by delta x. It is useful to think of water movement as a product of driving force causing water to move and a factor representing the ease with which water moves in the soil. This was formalized by Henry Darcy in 1856 as a Q equal to minus K delta TH divided by delta X, where Q is a volume of a water flowing through a unit cross-sectional area of soil per unit time, K is a saturated hydraulic conductivity of the soil, TH is a total hydraulic head, and X is a position coordinate in the direction of flow. This equation is also known as Darcy's law. For uniform saturated soil, it is useful to write this equation as dF equal to minus dTH divided by dx, or THA minus THB divided by LAB, where THA is a total head at the inlet end of the soil, THB is a total head at the outlet end of the soil column, and LAB is a distance between inlet and outlet. The hydraulic conductivity, which is represented as a K, represents the ease with which water flows through the soil. Its value depends upon soil properties and the properties of soil water. The driving force dF is represented by hydraulic conductivity. Since some of the volume of soil is occupied by soil particles, water does not flow through soil as easily as it does through the open pipe. The ease of water movement is known as hydraulic conductivity of the soil. Soil with large pores such as sandy soils tend to conduct water more easily than the soils with small pores such as clay soils. Thus, sands have high saturated conductivity values than clay soil. The driving force, which is the rate of water movement in the soil, increases with increasing force. In saturated soil, the driving force is a result in a difference in elevation and positive external pressure in the soil. In unsaturated soil, the attraction of soil surfaces for water is often a major component to the driving force. Uptake of water by the roots depend on number of factors such as soil hydraulic conductivity, rooting depth and density, root distribution, soil osmotic potential, depth of water table, and evaporative demand of atmosphere. In the field soil, root length density in the topsoil is usually so high that the local rate of uptake of water is never likely to be limited by soil properties. However, in subsoil, root becomes sparse and water flow through the soil might limit the uptake rates. A substantial resistance to water uptake exists at the interface between soil and root, known as interfacial resistance. The interfacial boundaries is only a few hundred micrometers thick and rich in organic substances secreted by the root to form a rhizosphere. Two properties of interfacial zone could influence water flow into roots. First, exclusion of ions at a root membrane might result in a large buildup of these ions outside the membranes. High osmotic pressure outside the roots would impede the uptake of water. The second possible impediment to water flow from soil to root is the physical gap which might form at the soil root interface, either through the roots growing into the pores that are much wider than the root axis, or because the roots shrinking within the pore into which they once fitted easily. What would induce a root to shrink? A fall in a water potential of root could cause shrinkage as thin wall cortical cells begin to collapse during water deficit. The function of plant root is dual. They anchor the plant root to the soil matrix, and they absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Water and nutrients preferentially enter the root through the small root hairs that are located on the root epidermal cells. Water traverses this single cell epidermal layer to reach the cortex. In the cortex, water travels along the two pathways. First one, it moves through the apoplast. Second one, it moves through the symplast. The water conducting elements of the vascular tissue are primarily the non-living and heavily thickened and lignified tracheids as well as xylem vessels. They act as a network of tubes connected one to another. From these xylem tubes, water can ascend from the root up to the small veins in the leaves. At the vein ends, water is released from the xylem. After crossing the mesophyll cells, it reaches the substomatal cavity, from where it diffuses through the stomatal pores into the atmosphere as a water vapor. The ascent of liquid water through the trees induced by this transpiration process is also called as sap flow or transpiration stream. Evapotranspiration is a sum of evaporation and plant transpiration from earth land surface to the atmosphere. Because evaporation and transpiration are practically difficult to separate, they are lumped together. Evaporation accounts for movement of water to the air from the soil surface, plant canopies and water bodies. Transpiration accounts for water movement within the plant and subsequent loss through the water vapor through stomata in its leaves. For soil plant atmosphere continuum, three basic physical conditions need to be met. First, continuous heat supply to change liquid water into vapor. Second, vapor gradient must be present to maintain the water flux. These vapor must be transported away by diffusion or convection. And the third, continuous water supply, which depend on the content and water potential in the plant body as well as on its conductive properties. The total potential difference between soil moisture and atmosphere humidity range from tens of megapascal, and in arid climate it can exceed to 100 megapascal. The potential drop is the soil towards the root varies from less than 100 kilopascal. In the root, potential drop is somewhat greater than from soil to root. The major proportion of potential drop occurs between leaves and the atmosphere. Let us summarize the topic. Quantifying water dynamics through soil plant atmosphere continuum requires understanding of water dynamics in three separate compartments: soil, plant tissues and atmosphere, and their interface and connections among them. These connections are soil-plant interface and leaf interface. The driving force for water movement is determined by total water potential across the soil and atmosphere, which influences water movement from the soil to the plant.